Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and fresh out of the oven from guitar maker Leo Jaymz, this is the Hurricane. Just look at this thing. Now we're going to get into the specs of this guitar in just a second, but first, just feast your eyes on how good this guitar looks. This guitar costs $299 on Amazon, and there's even like an Amazon coupon on there for 40 bucks off right now, so it'll knock that price down to about $259, $260, right around there. This guitar reminds me a lot of my 27 fret Edwards. Obviously there are some differences between the two guitars, but the quilt red top with the abalone binding and then the reverse headstock, I love that combination. Now you can tell people to stop saying you sound like Dragon Force and you only have to pay $299 to do it. Okay, so like I said, this is a new model. And at this point, Leo Jaymz is pretty well established. They have a ton of guitars for sale on Amazon. I've covered a lot of their stuff. Also, the Bald Shredder, he's covered a lot of the Leo Jaymz guitars. And yeah, this is a new one. It's really, really cool. Not a lot of people know about this right now. So I want to say, guys, if you are interested in getting this guitar, buy it right now before it goes out of stock, because that's one of the biggest complaints I get here on the Guitar Max channel, is somebody will be watching a video maybe a few days or a week after the video came out, and at that point, you know, tens of thousands of people have already watched the video and gone and then bought whatever guitar I was talking about, and it's sold out. That problem happens a lot. And I think once the word really spreads about these guitars, they're going to sell out very, very quickly. Anyway, so there's some cool specific things I want to talk about with this guitar, but let's just go over the general specs. It's a mahogany body. Now look at this, it's a carved top body. It's got the quilt veneer over the top of that. Of course, we already mentioned the abalone binding around the body. Then it's a roasted maple neck, and then a traditional rosewood fretboard. Now it's 24 frets on this guitar, which I love. These are stainless steel frets with the rounded ball ends. Everybody likes these. Now they're saying these are jumbo frets. They don't really seem like jumbo to me. Certainly not extra jumbo. Maybe a medium jumbo. I'll give them that. But the frets are finished very nicely and the guitar plays great. Up here we've got locking tuners, which work great. Also, some of the Leo Jaymz guitars have the truss rod adjustment down here at the neck pocket. This guitar does not have that. It has the cover up here, but what's cool is this is a little swing out cover. Let's see if I can do this here. And so you don't actually, yeah, see, it just swings out, and you put your Allen wrench in there and you adjust it, and then it swings closed. So you don't actually have to remove the cover in order to adjust the truss rod, which I really like. I do prefer the neck pocket adjustment, but this is a close second right here. I think the reason they didn't do the neck pocket truss rod is simply because there's really no space for it right here. You have to have a little cutout at the end of the fretboard, and then the little wheel in there that you turn, and the end of the fretboard with the 24 frets and then the neck pickup position where it is. I think there's just not really room to have it in there. Now, on the topic of pickups, this bridge pickup is one of the hottest pickups I've ever checked out. I measured the resistance of the sucker, and this bad boy clocked in at 16.2 kilo ohms. That is super, super hot. Now, the neck pickup is a little bit more of a conservative 8K. Okay, so pretty standard neck pickup, but the bridge pickup is absolutely smoking. And they sound great. We'll get more into the demo in a second. You can hear how they sound. So in addition to that hot pickup, you also have a coil splitting option down here, single volume, and then a three-way toggle switch. So pretty straightforward shred guitar control layout. Now the bridge is the other thing I want to talk about. It's a nice 2-point bridge here, and it's a Leo Jaymz branded bridge. It's got some kind of model number on it or something. So not a Floyd Rose style bridge like you would typically expect to find on a full-blown shred guitar. However, there's something in particular about this bridge that I love, and it's kind of easy to miss. Okay, here's the trem arm, or the whammy bar, right? And this threads in, but it has internal threads on the inside of the arm. So I'll give you guys a close-up of this. It's hard to see on the main camera angle here, but it's threaded on the inside. Then there's a little tiny bolt that's down in the center of this thing. So you push it in, and then it threads in there. So when it threads in all the way, it doesn't clatter around, and it's absolutely not going to fall out on you. But aside from threading in, you have a separate set screw right here, which will adjust sort of the tension on the arm. So if you want it to be swinging around, or if you want it to just stay where you put it, you can adjust that sort of positional stiffness of the arm. You can adjust that with the set screw right there. Now, as far as the usability of the bridge, it depends on how you want to have it set up, but it's mounted pretty low into the body, and there's no recess here. So it's a pretty much like a dive-only type bridge, which on a guitar like this, which doesn't have the locking clamps, not a Floyd Rose, not a double locking bridge, I'd kind of prefer it that way. You could, I suppose, if you changed the setup of the guitar, adjusted the springs in the back, you could set it up to be a floating bridge, but it's not going to hold tune as well with this design. Okay, there's some other kind of secrets about this guitar that I really want to talk about, and also a little issue that I had with the guitar when it was shipped to me. But let's talk about that after the demo. Let's go ahead and listen to how it sounds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through my Boss IR200 amp and cabinet simulator. That's about a $350, $400 piece of equipment. So the guitar is $300, the amp sound is like $350, $400. So I'm not using any super expensive studio equipment to make the guitar sound better than it is or anything like that. Now, of course, guys, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool, new, totally awesome looking and very affordable guitars, and also staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you've not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's plug this in and listen to how the Hurricane sounds. Okay guys, there we go. So that was some sounds from the Leo Jaymz Hurricane. Now there's some other things I want to mention here. So one thing I love is look on the back. Look at this nice back neck pocket cutaway, or neck joint cutaway I should say. It's still a bolt-on neck, but it's, you know, it sinks down in there so you don't have very much wood to kind of grab your hand around when you're playing up on those super high frets. And you can, you know, it's got great fret access. You can absolutely play up on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th fret, no problem at all. Now one thing I will say that's a very minor complaint I have on this guitar is that setup wise, this guitar needed more work than a lot of the other Leo Jaymz guitars that I've had in the past. Basically, you know, this is like a brand new model. They're just releasing it. Maybe because of that, there's a little bit of, I don't know, growing pains or something like that with the new model. And the big issue was that when I got this guitar, when I took it out of the box, I picked it up and I heard something loose inside, which is always troubling, right? It turned out it was the springs on the back of the trem block. And I think what happened is, in an effort to protect the guitar, they detuned the guitar to keep all the string tension off, right, when it was being shipped. But they detuned it so much, it had so little string tension that the bridge moved all the way into the back position, and the tension was taken off the springs, and so the springs actually came loose from the trem block and everything. So there was one spring out of the three still attached. The other two were just floating around in the back cavity here. So it was just a matter of putting the springs back on and then properly tuning the guitar, and then it wasn't an issue. So there really wasn't anything broken about it. It was just that those springs had kind of come unhooked in the back there. And the other thing is, once I tuned it up properly, I did have to lower the bridge a little bit. The action was a little high out of the box and everything. So, you know, those are not deal breaker problems. Those are problems where you just make some adjustments to the guitar and it works great. That being said, compared to other Leo Jaymz guitars I've had in the past, out of the box, this one definitely needed a little bit more work. The other thing, this is really kind of funny, is on the back of the headstock here, you've got this printing, right? And it says, you know, Hurricane series and everything. The only thing is, it's printed upside down. And it's a reverse headstock, right? So it's printed as if this was like a left-hand guitar headstock, but not a reverse headstock. But when you have it how it is on this guitar, the printing is upside down. Just kind of a weird little problem. Again, doesn't make any difference on the guitar, but, you know, in case you guys buy this and you see that, I want you to know about it in advance. So the Hurricane from Leo Jaymz, you can get it in the Quilt red, you can get it in a Quilt blue, you can get this kind of crazy like gray purple burst color that looks really neat, and they all have this nice abalone binding around the outside of the body, in addition to the white binding. Such a beautiful, cool looking, flashy yet tasteful guitar for $300. That is awesome. It's got a super hot bridge pickup, it's got locking tuners, 24 stainless steel frets, a roasted maple neck, coil splitting. I think the only way you could make this more of an awesome shred guitar is if you had a real double locking Floyd Rose style tremolo on there. For me, that's kind of the final piece in an awesome shred guitar. Okay guys, let me know what you think of this guitar down in the comments section below. As usual, I'm going to have links for everything I was talking about down in the video description. A link for the guitar, plus the Boss IR200 amp and cabinet simulator, my social media, my YouTube online course, all that stuff in the video description. Guys, thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you very soon.